and proper accounting for what has been spent. But the other part of it is the leakages, the tax leakages. To plug those leakages, you talked about structure. Is it just about structure? Or with the TSA, now that the TSA has been implemented, and the president talked about 2.2 trillion recovered via the TSA, would that also help in, first of all, simplifying tax administration and then proper plugging of those leakages? Would that help?
Yes, it will definitely help. I'm happy the current chairman of Federal Inland Revenue Service stated on one occasion that just by doing things right, the revenue from taxes will go astronomically high. Is even contemplating modeling his style after state of Georgia in U.S. that increases tax revenue by 600%.
Without increasing what people pay for taxes?
Without improving the rate, without increasing the types of taxes. Just the existing taxes as well as the existing rate. If people are doing it right, that is the tax administrators, if they are doing it right, you have the proper structure, you are implementing the law as it is, and then the people are paying their taxes at the appropriate time, that tax will definitely increase by 600%. And I quite agree with him. Take, for instance, in 1999, just by, the circular coming from the government saying that the taxpayers should be paying their taxes through the banks, the tax yield in Lagos State went up astronomically. Just with that pronouncement alone. And that is part of doing it right that the current chairman of Federal Inland Revenue Service is talking about. If the leakages are plugged, if the tax administrators are doing their jobs with proper accountability, and if the populace, they are sure that they can entrust Buhari government with their taxes because it will utilize it properly, you will see that our tax revenue will go astronomically high.
That motivation for the people, how can it be done? The other side, besides proper utilization of taxes paid, will be the tax refunds. I mean, it's part of the laws.
Yeah, yeah.
Can that be effected again?
Yes.
Okay, let me put it this way. How is it that we failed to handle tax refunds? Do you know anyone that has gotten back a refund of their taxes?
It's because we do things on ad hoc basis in the country.
But there are laws.
There are laws
that need to be followed.
That is it.
So who are breaking these laws? Besides, the citizens will tell you, okay, those are the pay as you go.
Yeah.
As you earn. Those are from source is deducted.
Oh, yes.
But at the end of the day, we still hear the government saying, we're not getting these taxes.
Well,
so the citizen or the employer or the employee feels, I paid my taxes. I get my pay slip and it's been deducted.
A lot of things needed to be done. Regulatory agencies or the monitoring agencies, they need to actually do their jobs. If they do their jobs, those employers deducting taxes either through payee or through withholding taxes or even through VAT, that's value-added tax, that are not remitting to government, if there is proper monitoring by the regulatory agency regularly, you will observe that deals will be reduced drastically. Then as regards the refund system, any VAT system without a proper refund mechanism is like a sales tax. That is why we are still saying that Nigerian VAT system needed to be properly designed, properly implemented, because it's still having coloration of a sales tax system. Now, refund system is one of the canons of a good tax system, because you will have occasions when people will overpay the taxes they're supposed to pay. But because you know, the very first year that this refund system was put into our tax law, we were told that it wasn't budgeted for. So the taxpayers couldn't get their refund. The following year, it was budgeted for, but the proper mechanism was not put in the law. And that is why it dragged for long until it was now put into law that, okay, the accountant general should have certain account heading for refund. But as of now, the adequacy of the amount being voted for refund still leaves much to be desired.
So who determines the amount voted for refund?
Definitely the federal government at federal level, as well as state government at state level.
So if it's in the law that citizens are supposed to get tax refund, those paying tax are supposed to get a kind of refund, and it's not been implemented all these years, how would that encourage that citizen who knows that he's supposed to get a refund? Or how can a citizen even begin to chase after his refund?
Yes, you know,
because it's the law.
This is a new era. Citizens, they have every right to go to court. You know, starting with the tribunal, tax appeal tribunal, then to go to court. If a refund is due to you, and government is not making it available to you, and the same government is still asking you to pay more taxes, you have every right to demand for your right. So citizens should learn how to engage government. This is a democratic dispensation. We should know how we are to engage government. And I believe that government too, knowing fully well that they have no option other than encourage taxpayers to pay more taxes, then I believe that they are going to do something about our refund mechanism. In fact, there has been improvement over the time. It's only that it's too gradual for comfort.
Okay, but let me bring it back home to you. You're a former president of the Nigerian Institute of Chartered
Institute of
Taxation. If your colleagues or those that are involved with taxation, would you say that they've been doing what they're supposed to do as tax administrators?
Well,
is there something that your institute can do to help the system correct itself?
Yeah. You know, the Chartered Institute of Taxation was actually established to ensure that the professionals are handling our tax system, both as administrators as well as tax consultants who are consulting for the private sector, for the public. Now, when the law was about to be implemented, there were certain hurdles, if you can recall. Some other institutes believe that, well, they should be taken along and so on and so forth. Thank God, you know, that issue had been resolved. It is now known that only members of the Chartered Institute of Taxation are empowered to handle tax consultancy for a fee. That is, if you are charging a fee for handling tax system, then it must be you must be a member of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. Now, it is only with this that you can have certain body to call into question any sharp practices among the members. But before now, what you have is that you have touts. In fact, they hang around the tax offices. You want to collect tax, collect tax clearance certificate, they will procure the same thing for you. These were the challenges that we had been facing in the past. But with the current, with the Chartered Institute of Taxation being in place, we believe that things will definitely take the proper perspective that it should take, and there will be sanity in our tax system. We continue to call on government to continuously recognize professionals in all aspects of our life, not only in taxation, in all aspects of our life. If professionals are allowed to handle the areas of their callings, you will see that Nigerian government will be better for it.
When you talk about government here, you're talking about both at the state and at the federal level.
Both state and
federal. You mentioned the head of the FIRS at the Federal Inland Revenue Service talking about tax increasing by 600% without increasing rates or types of taxes.
Yeah.
But what about, how is it playing out? How do you think it will play out in the states?
Very simple. Blocking the leakages. You need to block the leakages. There are people collecting taxes from people by way of withholding taxes, payee. They are not remitting to government. Then there were instances that you even approach some unscrupulous government tax administrators, and you want to honestly pay your tax. They will discourage you by saying you need to pay maybe 20% to government, 60% to them, and then you keep the remaining 20%. How do you explain that? Meaning that bulk of government revenue in the past had been going to certain private pockets. But if the leakages are blocked, recently we heard that certain tax administrators were apprehended for demanding for bribe or whatever. You know, if leakages are plugged, I can assure you the chairman of Federal Inland Revenue Service will achieve more than 600% increase in the tax yield.